Welcome back. And today on the Hire Me podcast, I have with me Courtney Duncan, who is a senior manager in the nonprofit sector. Let's jump right into learning how Courtney could be your next great hire and professional connection. Welcome, Courtney, and tell us about yourself.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. My name is Courtney Duncan, and I'm based in the Baltimore DMV, so DC area. And I do nonprofit work, and I focus on education, equity, curriculum design, professional development, and career preparation. So all sort of ed-based in a sense. And I've been doing program management for about 6 years now, and senior manager roles across two different organizations on three different teams. And I love working on behalf of young people. I love developing people for their careers, and it's just the thing that drives me.
I love that. And again, I'm in a similar space, so definitely love that.
Yeah.
And that resonates with me. So, what type of roles are you looking for?
So concretely, in order of preference, I'm looking for director level roles that are in that same areas of work that I just described. But I'm also interested in possibly branching out to social impact and corporate responsibility um, with an education or STEM focus. I'm also open to contract work for program and or curriculum design. So sort of in that order, director level roles, full time, um, corporate philanthropy and social impact, and then contract work focusing on curriculum design. And then I would say more abstractly in terms of what I'm looking for a role, I'm looking for something that allows me to think strategically and creatively. I like to work collaboratively on cross-disciplinary teams because I feel like I learn more about the project that way. And I feel more informed in my work and just working with a group of professionals who enjoy mission-driven work.
That's awesome. Well, you shared a little bit about what you love in your work. Can you expand a little bit more on that about what it is about the stuff that you do that you really love?
Right. So primarily the roles that I've worked in have worked with higher ed students and also people who are early career. And so I've been really lucky in doing this long enough that I've seen the results of my work. And that's the thing that is really exciting is seeing students as part of my last two roles or at those last two organizations work toward their dreams and actually realize those dreams, literally taking students to Silicon Valley and for recruitment efforts and then seeing them start their own tech companies and get hired. So we go back the next year with new students and they're meeting people who were in the same program the year before. It's really inspiring work, I think, to just see what you do actually pan out in a really real world kind of observable way. People doing the thing that they want to do with their careers.
I love this work that, you and I can do where you can actually see the impact of people growing and making
Yeah,
change. It's so fulfilling, right? Um,
absolutely.
the work that you have done working with multiple teams, working in different organizations, I'm sure you've experienced a lot of different cultures and behaviors and values. What are the type of leadership values and cultures have you found that help you thrive?
Yeah, so in terms of leadership, I really appreciate direct and immediate feedback. It just helps me to pivot when I need to and forge ahead. I like trust in my judgment and just freedom to kind of make changes where it's necessary and where it's rooted in what's been observed and what the data shows. So, data driven work and data driven cultures is important to me. And I like clear expectations. Culturally, I really love to work with passionate people who are genuinely invested in a mission, who expect the best for the organization or the company that they work for and hold them accountable. I like working in environments where change toward improvement is welcome. And in terms of pacing, I really like a fast pace. I like lots of new things coming down the pike, lots of opportunities for innovation, and a friendly workplace. I'm an extrovert, so I like people where it feels like there's a sort of friendly, kind of collegial environment.
Very cool. So, as you're having these conversations with teams and organizations or with recruiters, what would you tell them when they ask, what problems can you solve for us?
I would say the thing that I'm really great at are program design issues. So let's say your programming isn't producing ideal outcomes, I can fix that through proper program evaluation. I've also been formally trained in curriculum and design. So, just in terms of how programs should be structured, how people, when it comes to learning and development, how learning should actually be structured to be effective. Not only do I have the formal training, but also the actual work experience where I've applied that to kind of know which way to go based on the data that I'm getting. So, any kind of program design flaws, I can handle that. And I feel really good about doing that work. And it's really rewarding to see how transforming programming can produce better outcomes. Um, I would say I can also adapt existing programming to new values, which I think is a really big kind of topical thing right now. Just socioculturally, the world is changing, and sometimes our organizations and companies are on a bit of a lag when it comes to adapting their program models to new values, be it DEI or what have you, right? So, since times change, missions have to be updated, and I can use data collection and analysis to address any kind of mission service gaps, meaning like your mission isn't necessarily evident or as observable as it could be in your actual service to stakeholders. So they might be dissatisfied or what have you. I can redesign programming and kind of retrofit it to reflect more progressive and actionable values. So those are the things that I would say that I'm really comfortable with. And the last thing I'll say is training people is my favorite thing. Again, I'm an extrovert. I love seeing learning in real time. I started out my career as a public school teacher, so that's still in me. So any kind of professional training is something that I'm really good at, but also really enjoy, like get enthusiastic about.
I love that. Absolutely love that. So when you continue talking and having these conversations with different people, how would you say or what would you tell them when they ask, well, what matters to you at the end of the day?
Hmm. I really value progress, institutional progress, and a clearly stated mission and observable efforts across all departments to support that mission, like to align itself with that mission. I value equity and service to the community. Those are always at the heart of all of the work that I've done, has been sort of human centered, community centered. And I appreciate um, when employers demonstrate care for their employees. So really recognizing the humanity in people, not just cogs in a system, but humans who are complex, who have a desire to learn while they're working. So professional development and that kind of thing, but also valuing the ideas of the people they work with and recognizing that everyone has something to offer. And then I would say maybe a little more abstract, but I value like having a sense of humor, like people having a sense of humor and a lightness about themselves, not necessarily in their approach to the mission, right? But just like how you engage with other people. I do appreciate that kind of like lightness, sense of humor. And I'm always going to appreciate creative freedom.
Wonderful. Well, Courtney, thank you again so much for coming on the Hire Me podcast. It was great to learn more about you, your role, your skills, and how you can bring value into the next organization that you go into. I especially love your people first mindset and approach, really looking at how you can make change, not just for individuals and organizations, but societal change as well. If you are watching or listening, make sure you are connecting with this amazing individual, Courtney Duncan, through the links in the description and show notes. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and like all of our content here on the Hire Me podcast so we can continue elevating more of today's top talents. Take care.